I was born in Boston and raised in nearby Watertown. Decided I wanted to go to college, applied to a number of colleges, and ended up going to a school called Northeastern University. So I started off at Northeastern as a freshman year, was floundering. My father said to me, you're floundering, you need some direction. Why don't you go in the Army? Got my orders to go to a beautiful town called Schweinfurt, Germany. I was in Headquarters Battery, 10th Artillery. I was assigned to learn how to run a code machine. And in addition, we had to have a mobile radio set of communications. So that was my job. Most of the police work, you have 10 signals, 10-1, 10-2, all that. Well, we didn't have that in the Army. I was tasked with making up names for each one of the commands. So in the artillery, for instance, they'd say, load the guns. Well, you wouldn't say that over the air. You had to have a code for it. So I had to come up with a list of sayings that were pertinent to the mission. So what I would have, my mother in Boston, my mother, God love her, she loved the dogs, she loved the horses. I would have her, and she loved the dogs, I would have her cut out the racing form for a Wonderland racetrack with the names of all the different dogs that were running. Every time we went out, we had to change it, so I'd have her send me all these different things. So instead of saying closed station march order, I'd have Whiskey the Rabbit, or it would be a name of a dog that was actually running at Wonderland Park back in Boston. So I did that for a while. So I was lucky enough, I got promoted to PFC, then I got promoted to specialist, which is E4. I guess I was doing a halfway decent job, and my platoon sergeant came over and said, look, we want to promote you to sergeant. So they promoted me to sergeant, and I'm due to get out, and I've made up my mind I want to go back to school. I want to go back to college. I still had this thing in my mind I wanted to go into law enforcement. So I went and I interviewed at the Secret Service, CIA, and FBI. During my time at the FBI, I was assigned to the, I guess what now they call it, the Violent Crime Squad. And in particular, I had one case that really hit home.
Beyond Cruel, the chilling true story of America's most sadistic killer, delves into the horrifying life and crimes of Mike DeBardleben.
This fellow was a mass murderer, he was a rapist, he was a bank robber.
A search of the FBI's records uncovered the mall passer's identity. He was James Mitchell DeBardleben II. Agents made a disturbing discovery. Photographs of women in sexually compromising positions.
The one part of it was at the time I had 4 daughters. This guy was going around raping women and killing women. I didn't want that guy on the street near anybody's daughter or anybody's wife.
Agent Joseph McElhenny attended the interview.
When we played them to the victim, we only played the very initial portion because she just broke down and became hysterical. And, we looked at each other and said, okay, we think we have the man. There was a sense of relief that this fellow was now off the street.
So you felt a sense of pride when you finally were able to say, hey, look, we got this guy, locked him up, he went away for life. The FBI taught me a lot of values. The Army taught me. They were sort of like a pyramid. You learn from your parents, you learn from your peers, and you learn from the Army. And then you get in and you learn, and what you want to do, or I want to do, my wife wanted to do, is we wanted to pass on, first of all, love of God, love of country, love of your family and love of your country.
The biggest thing my father passed on was service, love of country, love of family, and faith. He instilled that in all 6 of us. And I think that prompted 3 of us to go into service, right? So being in law enforcement, 3 of us chose that path, direct result of the upbringing that we had under his guidance.
I look at it as a gift to me. because I can look back on my kids and say, geez, I'm blessed. When I look at my picture on the wall, even though it was probably now, maybe 60 years ago, I think I can almost remember where it was because of the background. In the background, I think you can see what looks like a truck with metal on it. That was my communications truck that I kept the coding machine in. I think I had an M1 rifle over my shoulder, which means we were probably out in a place called Grafenwehr, Germany, on maneuvers. But when I look at it, well, I mean, life has been good to me. I was enjoying life when I was in the military. I mean, I enjoyed what I've done. I've been fortunate to have a job that I've enjoyed doing. I've had a fortune enough to have a family that I like and love, and I've been a lucky man.
When I look at that picture of my dad, I see a young guy that looks like my son.
Well, yeah, it's actually now going to another generation. Michael's middle boy is first lieutenant in the Marine Corps. He's stationed in Naples, Italy.
The way the Army shaped him to prepare him for the Bureau has been passed down to the generations. So now his grandkids now are starting to, one of my boys wants to go in law enforcement. I got one in the Marine Corps, right? It's a direct correlation to their grandfather's influence.